Saga, and
Ooh, let the drama begin.
it's getting pretty spicy as we speak. What is up, everybody? We are back.
What it do, people?
What it do? What it do?
Gang, gang.
Gang, bang, 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 not a gang. And we got our boy Tommy freaking Huxley, man, the legend, the myth.
Did he say what up, Trick? I'm done.
No, he just said as a joke. He's a jokester.
I'm done.
No, Tommy's like a good joke. Actually, I call him the Gilroy Garlic Festival legend. He's the legend. He's a singer, but yeah. But that's either here or then. But we've been on a winning streak, and I know this is probably one of our toughest games of the year by far.
Oof.
I mean, there's a little side of me nervous a little bit because Lamar Jackson is just a difficult quarterback to stop. We couldn't even stop Kyler Murray, but then to be fair, we didn't have Javon Hargrave or any of the other guys, so maybe we'll be okay. But we just got.
I think this game is going to be my last game where I have anxiety from. Because Lamar is a hard quarterback. Like,
yeah, he is difficult.
I get he's not the same, but he can turn it on and off. And it's just like, can we just have one of those games where it's not the Ravens? But,
I mean, the only thing that's challenging about the Ravens is the running game, but now they lost Mitchell for the entire season. They still have ways to
maneuver.
They still got creatives in the running game. I mean, they still make the most out of any running back. It doesn't matter who they got at running back. As long as the Ravens have Lamar, they can make anything work. But, dude, why are the Lambs in the playoffs pissing me off? They're not going to make it too far, man. Even if they get in, they're probably – you know the worst case scenario for the Rams to go to is to go to Arlington. They don't want to play the Cowboys at their home field. I don't even think Cowboys – if it's a wild card, I think Dallas would easily beat the Rams. Because we saw what happened last time when they played in Dallas. They got smoked by them. So I think if they play another team like if they play a team like Philadelphia, I don't think they'll even make it past there either. Yeah, Ravens giving up 100 yards.
So they said that Hargrave is practicing, but Armstead's still out?
Yeah, I think he's dealing with a foot and a knee issue, but I think it's in the right direction probably for next week. I'm not really specifically sure what's going to happen, but Hargrave coming back is even better because the depth was getting pretty thin. So we just added a guy. We just added this kid to our practice squad, Taylor Stallworth. So there's some depth at the D tackle. Khalil Davis is on right now. Oh, yeah, Philly beat them too. Oh, what is up, Steven Rose? What is up, man? Yeah. But I think it's been a concern because of the injuries, because we've been dealing with some injuries. I don't know when we're going to play Jason Verrett, but he's just been on our practice squad. Maybe they have something in store with him soon.
Yeah, Kyle got something planned.
Yeah, it's like, that's going to be the one concern. I think the rest of the games don't really worry me as much. Like, we already know what to expect from the Commanders. We already know what to expect from them. The Rams, we know they're just a division team. They're probably going to give us their best shot, but do they really scare me? Do they really scare me with Stafford? If you can get to Stafford's face, he is not that good when you get pressure up front on this guy a lot. Like if you disrupt his passing a lot, that's when Stafford's off his game a little bit. And the Rams are just a young team, so it's like, yeah, I like their receivers. Don't get me wrong. I like their wide receivers, but The running backs, he's good, but come on, man. Everybody's hyping him as better as CMC, which is not the case. But I mean,
Look, I love. I think the problem I'm having with the you're right, a Super Bowl preview because they did cheat us, but
we better get our payback if anything
I
else.
think that bro, they robbed us of the greatest Super Bowl comeback ever in history.
Yeah, ever since then, I stopped
But
watching.
the only thing that concerns me is Kyle is the script plays. Like
He could be
have like
unpredictable.
he's constantly got his face in the book. Like you should have 4 or 5 lined up and then like work on them while they're conducting those plays. But it's just like he's constantly reading scripts and he can end up missing something. And it's just like
Well,
just have 4 of them, 5 of them line up, bro. Stop sticking your face in there.
maybe with Brock Purdy, he might just switch the playbook on Kyle and say, "Hey, this is going to work for us." He says, "Okay, Kyle, I don't think we're going to pass that ball. We're going to run the ball." He's going to say, "I'm going to give it to CMC. Let's give him the running game." Maybe Brock Purdy is the opposite of what I've heard about because I heard he kind of tends to switch the play sometimes. So that can be something that Kyle can get away with now. Because before I think Jimmy would always follow the plays. But I mean, Kyle was always controlling the plays. But if a quarterback switches it up, Kyle can't get upset if the play works.
Right? He used to get mad too.
I think you've seen his reaction, right? Didn't you see how Kyle was kind of like surprised, like, "What the heck? I didn't call that play."
Like, what are you doing? Okay, it worked. Yay.
I think Brock knows how to. Maybe Brock might overturn because there's a history of the Shanahans. Like his dad lost 2 Super Bowls before he won Super Bowls. Like he was an assistant for the Broncos before he became the head coach of the Broncos. He lost the '86 Super Bowl against the. Was it against the Redskins when there was the
I
Broncos that
think it
year?
was.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was an offensive coordinator in Denver. And then he lost one as a quarterback coach against the Niners because he was the head coach for the Raiders for a short minute and went back to Denver. But he lost the Super Bowl that year. And then he won one as an offensive coordinator with the Niners. And then he won 2 more as a head coach of the Broncos. So maybe those 2 Super Bowl losses are definitely out the door now because now you have the question, okay, Kyle failed 2 times. His dad failed 2 times. It can change history now. It can be the same history as the other Shanahan. Because I had to look deep into the history of Mike Shanahan, and I'm surprised he lost 2 Super Bowls as an assistant before he won one as a head coach. So maybe for Kyle's offense, maybe he'll win one. We just
I
gotta
doubt it. Until he get rid of that ego, no.
His dad was the same thing too. His dad had a little bit of an ego also, from what I was told.
Yeah, but his dad was always open. Kyle just didn't. He don't want to hear shit. It's my way or the highway. Like,
Mike was a little bit stubborn too, but then he was a little open too. Maybe Kyle's starting to be a little open with Brock to change up the plays now. But he can't get upset if Brock makes the plays, right? I mean, there's got to
all
be
I
that.
know is
Yeah.
I don't care what it takes. We
Mm.
better have that ring.
I
We
don't
better.
care. I don't care if it's against the Texans, the Jaguars. I don't care if it's against the Jake Browning Bengals. I don't care which one it is, as long as we get
A
one.
win is a win.
A win's a win. I don't care which one it is. I don't agree. I don't agree. Kyle listens to critique like he does, but he doesn't really like take it to like consideration. There's a difference. Like he may take some listening to it, but at the end of the day, he's probably just gonna act like he cares, but then he'll go back to his regular tune. So I don't know. But with Brock Purdy don't give a shit about what play works or not. Brock Purdy's here to make us win. So maybe Brock Purdy follows Kyle's plays at times, but when he wants to do a play and he feels like this is going to work better, he might just change it up and say, "Kyle, this is not going to work. I'm going to do it this way."
And
And
Kyle
if
be
you
like, "You right."
And if you don't want me to execute, if that play doesn't execute, okay, I'll follow your plays for the rest of the game. Deal. He'll probably say, okay, fair enough. Do what you want. I think with Brock Purdy, he's gonna let him do some plays that may work for him. So Brock looks at playbooks and he says, okay, this play's gonna work. Let's do this play instead.
I don't honestly think the MVP. I really don't think it should be a quarterback.
It
I
shouldn't
think it
be,
needs to. I think it needs to be between CMC and Tyreek Hill.
but it's just the league just looks at quarterbacks. That's the problem. Like it's always been the quarterback award. Like they need to make a separate award at least. Like
Yeah,
make it individual. Like best offensive lineman award should be Trent Williams. I mean,
there you go.
I mean best,
DPOY,
yeah,
Fred.
best running back award. I mean, they need to do that kind of stuff because the MVP to me seems more like a quarterback reward.
It is, but they need to switch it up.
I mean, I don't really care who wins it. Like, I don't even care if it's Trent Williams winning the damn MVP. I really don't care. As long
Just
as
get a Super Bowl MVP.
yeah,
Like,
at least
you
get
want
it.
to
But
impress me?
yeah,
Get a Super Bowl MVP.
yeah, I wouldn't care if it's Trent Williams winning the damn MVP. It'd be kind of nice to see a lineman finally win one.
Right?
I
Way
mean,
deserving.
yeah, the guy's like he's kind of like a rare lineman. Like I think he's like one of those linemen that you don't have often. Like there's some of them that can't even do what he does. Like the all pro guys like Lane Johnson, he can't even do what Trent does. This
I
guy's
just want Trent to get a ring.
yeah.
Cause
He's been
I think he probably got a year left.
I think he's got about 2 more
It's
years.
like, yeah, so like time
Yeah.
is ticking.
Yeah,
Like,
his contract goes until like I think his contract goes up until he's like 37 or something, 36 or 37. I don't know which one it is, but I think it's like his contract is for a while, so he can actually like retire and save us some cap space, from my understanding.
right?
But
Like, you can still go down as the greatest, but a ring would be nice.
what would it do for Trent Williams' legacy? Like if he gets a Super Bowl ring, which I believe it's possible, what happens from
He
here?
will be
Does he?
cemented as the great, like one of the Niner greats. Like,
They won't look at him as a Redskin or anything like that anymore, huh? They'll look at
no,
him. They'll probably just say,
it's a
"Well, the way he got treated," but then he'll probably just have his legacy just like in the Niners. So if he wins one, I guess it would be more legendary for him to be on the Niners. Maybe they have him on the NBC show with the Niners stuff. The Niners stuff with those other guys. Maybe
that'd
he
be
goes on
so
there.
cool.
Yeah. What if he goes on with those other guys? Do like little analysts and stuff like that. That'd be kind of cool to have Big Trent over there. That'd be kind of
Representing. It's hilarious because
Trent seems like
I
a good fit.
still he is like
No, he's the kind of guy that if I needed somebody to back me up on a battle, I got that guy on my corner.
there you go.
He's not somebody to mess with. Like he's a fighter too. So that's what I like about him.
I like with the game on Monday, it's like that dude has been a leader.
Yeah,
Like
he's
even when Purdy came, how he embraced him and tried to make him feel comfortable. Like, we
yeah,
got you, bro. It's just like
yeah.
get this man his flowers, please.
For Trent to actually embrace him, usually it takes a lot for a veteran to embrace a young quarterback. They had to buy into them. Like Trent just saw right off the bat and say, "Okay, all right, I
He
like this
sees
kid."
he's seen something in Purdy. Like
Something about like what Trent likes about him is like, if your best veteran offensive lineman likes him for whatever reason, then that means he's earning respect from the locker room too. So it's like, what's up, crazy juice? But a
I'm
lot of
just
it.
ready for Monday to get here
Yeah, I'm ready
and get
for.
over with
I'm
because
I'm,
I
I'm
have
ready for.
not stressed.
Yeah, I'm ready for Monday too. But you want to know what Brock Purdy's record is currently? He has a chance to break Steve Young's touchdown passing record. Like there's different categories he can break this year. He can break the most passing yards in Niners history this year with 3 more games to go. Unless we don't bench our starters, then I don't know. I'm hoping we play our
We
guys.
can't because we seen the little play we did see from Sam Darnold. Guy was like, hell no. Hell
No,
no. Hell no.
no. Even you as a USC fan would understand that difference, right? Like,
Yeah,
come on.
he was good at USC.
But just
It's
the
just He's just not a.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe it's because he just probably needs good coaching. Because he has a great deep ball. Like
it's just
his
his
deep
accuracy
ball
is a little
is
off.
just amazing.
Yeah, his accuracy could be a little off at times, but I don't know. The talent seems there. Just his decision making kind of like, hey, what's up, Keith? Yeah, if we have the number one seed lock up, should we still try to knock the Rams out of the playoffs? See, I like this question. Here's why I'm
Yep.
good. Here's why I'm good with this part. Okay, if you want to rest CMC and Trent, okay, fine. Let them heal up. But at least give some of the reps to Brock Purdy. Let's see if Brock Purdy wants to break the record. Just make sure that Brock could have some time. And then once we have a lead, go put Darnold out there. But I would want to do whatever I can to knock the Rams out. It's nothing personal with the Rams. It's just we want to shut their stupid fans up. Because they've been talking massive crap. If we beat them in the regular season and that shatters their playoff dreams, wouldn't that be the best way to end their season? Just to shut them up? But I mean, I think they'll still. I think they'd be lucky to be the number 7 seed right now because of what's going on. They're at number 6. I don't see no other way. I don't see no other way they can get to the hunt right now. They're number 6 right now. They would have to lose
They
out.
won yesterday,
They won
from what I
yesterday.
hear.
Yeah, they won yesterday. The worst case scenario for them is to lose out, which I don't think they're going to lose out. They have a chance to at least secure that playoff spot easily.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know who else they play. Oh, the Giants. Is it the Giants or I think it's some other team? I'm not sure.
It's the Giants, I think, is their next game.
Oh,
Or is
man.
it Washington?
No, they already played Washington. They
Oh,
played
so it
Washington.
got to be the Giants.
Man, the
So I got a
Giants.
question for you, Tupac.
What's going on?
Because I remember you commented on it when they were comparing, Brock Purdy to Jimmy's
Yeah, I was
2019
trying to silence
season.
that comparison a little bit.
I mean, the only difference is the interceptions,
And the limitation at times because he
but
wasn't.
they're kind of similar.
Well, the
I think Jimmy
similarity,
had more yards or something. Other than that, his
but he wasn't.
interceptions.
Yeah, his interceptions were a little scary at times, but when it came to him throwing the ball deep all the time, I don't think he was quite a deep thrower as much.
No, he was like a quick passer.
Quick check
Like I
down
think the
guy.
only 2 times he tried, of course, they ended up in an interception.
But
It
with Brock
ended
Purdy,
up
you see
in.
it differently.
I think his best season and his best game was the Baltimore Ravens, because he threw no interceptions in that game.
Oh, okay. I
But
thought it was the Saints. The Saints was pretty much one of his best games, if I'm being honest. Like,
he threw no interceptions when they cheated us
oh no,
last
no.
year.
But when I think of Jimmy
Like you
Garoppolo's
don't
best,
understand.
yeah. When I think of
I need this win, CG. I don't care if you got to call your people,
yes,
fix some books, do what you do, but
yeah. Oh, even Keith agrees on this game. Like as far as Jimmy's best game, I gotta say the Saints because he won a shootout with Drew Brees and he actually had better stats on him. I think that day, but I think if you're talking best stats overall, I think Jimmy had
I
one of
think
his.
he's a better quarterback than Jimmy. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not
See,
knocking that. I
yeah,
just
we're
like
not
Jimmy because he's good looking. I just
now.
wish people, Niner fans, like the only thing that bothers me about us is when we had Jimmy Garoppolo, stats didn't matter because
We were winning
we
as a
carried
team.
him. But now
Yeah,
that we got Purdy, it's like
it may be a little
stats are
different.
important. And it's just like, no, fool. Like, don't be but like the only reason why I would put Purdy at MVP because if stats are it, then you have to give it to him.
But everybody keeps discrediting him and say, "Oh, look at the talent he has around him." I'm like, so didn't Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers and a lot of the other quarterbacks have the same talent?
Hell no, that motherfucker never had receivers, Patrick Mahomes. He's
No,
just a
like
gifted quarterback.
He had Tyreek Hill and quite a few
Yeah,
other.
but that's really much it. They're like I think Patrick Mahomes and Purdy, when it comes to certain stuff as a quarterback, they're just naturally gifted. Like the one thing Jimmy never could do is scramble and elude. And
Even
it's just like when he feels pressure, it's over.
but
Brock Purdy just naturally sees it coming and is like, ski.
he invades out of the pressure and looks for the open,
Yeah.
or he'll
You
try
don't
to
really
even
see that much like that in a quarterback. Not to throw shade at any other quarterback,
Oh, but his
but it's
scramble, like,
just natural for him.
and the way he scrambles, he's
Ridiculous.
he's smart too. He'll tend to slide down or either just like I don't know, something about his run just sounds. It's just like if you see how he scrambles, I'm like laughing, like God damn, this guy's got a good scramble move. Like,
That nigga has juked like 18 players already. Like,
I
scat.
mean,
Get over
you
there.
believe that's kind of funny how he scrambles? He scrambles like a wild horse a little bit.
He does.
I'm like, God
He
damn,
does.
this kid's got some legs.
One
But
thing I am glad that he worked on is learning to protect himself. Because I used to
yeah.
be like,
Oh,
bro,
and you know the funniest thing. Okay, since we saw what David Lombardi put in there a while back, he did say that there's some skill sets of him as a Drew Brees with the 10-yard split Lamar Jackson.
this
I
is the
guess,
same David fucking Lombardi who
yeah,
had the audacity to say if the 49ers would have worked with Jimmy Garoppolo, he could have been the next Drew Brees. I was like,
that guy's
I
on
get it.
some. That guy's
I
funny.
get it. I get it. You got a crush on Jimmy Garoppolo. But Drew
But
Brees, though?
Drew Brees
Brees?
was a different kind of guy.
Oh, I would probably say Ryan Tannehill.
No, I would think, yeah, if Jimmy would have got it right, maybe Tannehill. But even then, when you look at Brock Purdy, he kind of gives you a little bit of that Breeze vibe because when I see Breeze play that game, I see how he is accurate. Like you kind of like think, how the hell is this guy even process this fast and just finds that receiver? I can't even think of a quarterback like that besides Breeze.
Ah, nah. That's when I disagree. There is no quarterback in the NFL that
I
has
mean,
the accuracy like Drew Brees. He
no,
is the only one.
but the closest, like
Yeah,
close.
like he's there, he's getting there, but
But like
Drew Brees was just
yeah,
I just think he was different.
he was a quick processor, a quick
Yes.
processor. But the thing with Breeze is he wasn't quite a mobile guy. He was just the
Nah.
guy that just threw the ball where it needed to go, and that was it. But with Brock Purdy, you see that process of a Drew Brees, but then you see the little mobile side of him. If nothing's open, he'll run around and look for that next guy. Maybe a little bit of Russell Wilson because of what happened on Russell Wilson's early prime year. Everybody kept saying that about Russell being this, but I don't know. We'll know more
Oh,
about it.
Keith said that Young reminded him of Breeze.
Oh yeah, see, everybody's starting to bring up the Drew Brees comparisons. I'm telling you, the Drew Brees comparisons not. It's not a knock on what people are saying about him, but now I can see the accuracy difference, but the
Mm-hmm.
processing's a little more like he if he keeps doing it year in and year out, like he's doing this year, I can say he is Drew Brees Jr. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
like Junior. I wouldn't
Might
say
be
like him.
up and
uh,
coming.
I'm waiting for
Roberto,
Junior.
I say this every year. This is our year. Like
Bang, bang, bang. Let's go.
I'm so tired of saying that. I just want
I'm
it to
tired of
be
that
our
word.
year.
I'm tired of Quest for Six.
I'm
Can we get
tired of looking at that quest for six shit. Like,
I want that Quest for Seven. Damn it!
can we get to six before we get to?
No, but I'm just saying I'm tired of that word Quest for Six. But I want to get that seven.
Yeah,
I know, but I'm just putting it as a metaphor. If Russ
like
were like Breeze, Sean Payton wouldn't be yelling at him on the sidelines. Yeah, that's true. But
Sean
everybody's
Payton did him so wrong.
yeah. Sean Payton was actually Sean Payton kept a job for that long because of Drew Brees.
That's
I
it.
don't. I think that's what it was in New Orleans. He wouldn't have too much of a long coaching career if it wasn't for Breeze or those other guys. I
So you
mean,
all concerned with our secondary against
my
the
concerns was
Ravens?
my concerns with the secondary is it hasn't looked as bad as I thought. As long as we can get the pressure, I'm confident with Lenore playing the slot. He's been kind of getting better. Thomas, he has his moments, but he hasn't really been looking too
He has
bad.
improved a lot.
He's improved
Like,
significantly. I like his coverage has been a little better than since
mm-hmm.
his rookie year. Since his rookie year, he was actually stepping in against the Rams game. This year, he's kind of catching back to his rookie form a little better. And then, as long as Travarius Ward's out there, I like what I've seen from Ward lately. So I like our chances. If we can get our secondary back to full health like we're getting right now, the way
Mm-hmm.
Lenore is playing, it's like Jimmy Ward never freaking left. I don't know. Something about Lenore just tells me he's a really good football player. We better retain this kid.
We better. You
I
better
think
talk to El
he's really
Chapo.
good. Yeah, he's really, really good. Like, I think he's on his third year, and I think you can actually give him a contract after the offseason.
Mm-hmm.
I would say retain Lenore. Lenore is like, I don't really look at the stats the way he plays, but he tackles. Tackling is what we look at in the secondary, and he's not afraid of doing the dirty work and getting to the running back. And coverage, he's a little feisty. And I've been praising about this kid for a while, and everybody's starting to catch on with Lenore. Before that, nobody was talking about Lenore. Everybody just they thought he was going to get cut the other years. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
this kid.
I remember I used to see the tweets. Oh, he's trash. He ain't gonna make it. Look.
But I kept telling people, and it wasn't because of Lenore's sister was being one of them fans, but I kept looking at the tapes. I watched a lot of his tapes from previous years, and I said, I can see why we got him in this round. There's something there. I think his versatility is what they really like because he's a nickel. He can play the outside. He can actually play the outside better. That's what – see, a lot of these content creators, the ones that were the real ones to follow with, they knew Lenore was good, but then the ones who never really saw Lenore that way, now they're just starting to jump in. I mean, I was the original Lenore believer, if I'm being honest. Everybody was writing that kid off, and I told him, don't write this guy off. He's going to be good. And Abry Thomas, I was wrong about. I just thought he was going to be gone this year. I said, man, there's no way we're keeping Abry Thomas. That guy's been trash in coverage, damn it. But I'm glad he's improved better. I'm concerned about
Keith
defense.
said he's concerned about the defense. Yeah, we've been giving up a lot of tackles, man. Like
I think this game was different because we didn't have two of our other guys. But I think getting Hargrave kind of helps a little bit. And to be honest with you, no Keaton Mitchell, they're not going to have those big runoffs. It's only Lamar Jackson who's probably going to get you those big runs. Like, okay, Justice Hills, not that quite fast, but he's a decent running back. Gus Edwards, a physical running back, but he's not that fast. I think they signed another running back. I don't know which running back they signed, but either way, it's not going to be the same with somebody like Mitchell. Mitchell kind of gives him those big runs because if you give him 10 to 9 touches a game, this guy gives you those 20-plus yard runs or those big run chunks. That number 34 guy they had on their backfield, he was really good, but he tore his ACL against the Jaguars.
ooh, Lord, man, my anxiety is just.
Oh,
I think it's Lamar. It's just Lamar Jackson. I'm worried about.
Lamar's just
No
an all
throwing
around.
shade at the team. It's just Lamar. Because
No, you take Lamar out of the equation, Baltimore's barely average.
then there you go.
No, it's just like if you look at the rest of the Ravens offense, like all you see is Lamar being the guy. Like, okay, OBJ is not the same guy, but he still contributed. I mean, without Mark Andrews, they don't have a reliable target. Isaiah Likely, he's pretty solid, but he's not like Mark Andrews good. You know what I mean? But
What's
yeah, it
up,
was
Rod Callie? Hey, big
Rod Kelly.
brother. Hi,
Rod
big
Kelly.
brother.
Yeah, but the way it may factor us is they don't have a speedy running back that scares us no more.
So
They don't
you
have
think now that Hargrave is coming back, like
I think we'll
we
limit the
won't be
running.
giving up so many tackles?
I don't think we're going to give up so many tackles. I don't think we're going to give up a lot of big runs this time around because against the Cardinals, okay, when you don't have Armstead, when you don't have Hargrave, there is a little bit of a hole. No offense to those other guys. Javon Kinlaw, I've seen enough of Javon Kinlaw. He's only good in the rotation. Let's see. Kevin Givens is only good on the rotation. That's the sad part. Those guys on our backups, they're only solid when it comes to the rotation. Like T.Y. McGill, we had to go all the way and dig in our pocket for T.Y. McGill off our practice squad. But he was reliable when we needed him for depth pieces, but you need all the depth you can get. So hopefully this Stallworth kid, whatever his name is, Taylor Stallworth, I see a little bit of his tape, and he's quite a run stopper, but I've only seen very little of the tape when he was with the Colts. He is good
So
against
it's
the run.
so is it official that the 49ers are banning the number 10? What happened?
Ben the number 10. I mean, wait, but the receiver, you mean like the Kyle Williams number? Oh my god.
No
God.
bail after his little miss.
I mean, Ronnie Bell did pull an impression of Kyle Williams. I don't know why. But
Yo, he got so much slander for that. I was like,
I hope Ronnie Bell
damn.
I hope Ronnie Bell thinks about changing that number and let it just go to a quarterback or a kicker.
There you go. Cause
I mean, come
he
on, the
can't
quarter.
wear that no more.
But even then, Jimmy was wearing number 10. Nobody, nobody flipped out about number 10. Maybe they should ban that number permanently.
A lot of people did. The women flipped out for number 10.
But Ronnie Bell, I think the difference with him and Kyle Williams is Ronnie Bell has kind of like got potential to be really good. It's just he just has to work on better ball security a little bit on his returns. I think as a receiver, he can definitely secure the passes.
You know who actually had a like not a good game? Fred
Okay,
Warner. Fred
yeah,
Warner.
he had a
Like
little off on his tackles.
yeah, he's a little off, and it was just weird to see him off. Like I'm not saying he has to be perfect, but it's just
Yeah, like I don't know, like the last two games. I think the last two games he had his off days. Even with Seattle, he didn't look too well either. I mean, Drake Greenlaw kind of had an off day too. I think for this week, I think going on into Monday's game, I think they're going to be more fresh now because they have an extra day of rest. Maybe this is going to help them. I'm not making excuses about the wear and tear of our players, but there is a bit of that fatigue of the physicality. You know, when you go through a lot of games and gauntlets, kind of leads to a lot of injuries. But I guess looking into the long term, you know, going into the long haul, I would think for some of us, I don't know. I'm kind of skeptical on this part because you know, let's say we do win those next two games. Do we even consider resting our starters against the Rams with maybe potentially getting them out of the playoffs? Or do you take that chance and say, you know what, maybe we'll see them in the playoffs and we'll take them out?
I think we could, but it's any given Sunday in football.
Yeah, but
But when
just
you rest your starters, I think you got to see if will it affect the team in resting them.
that's what I'm concerned about because we've seen it with different teams, but it benefits some of them. But you got to have your players with the reps and be in the physical mindset. But some people don't understand the difference. Yeah, it may be smart on paper to rest them, but why? Because they're gonna have another week of rest. So it's not like it's gonna really affect them. Like give them at least let them play until halftime at least. Then you can rest them if
So
you
that
want.
means do you rest Purdy and give Brandon Allen and
Oh, you mean
Sam
Sam Darnold?
Darnold?
I would try to
Do
like
you
let's.
rest him and let them two just? Hmm.
I would say maybe until the third quarter, maybe until like almost at the end of the third quarter. If you have a lead on the Rams, just rest them. But don't go. I mean, unless you're really trying to think long term and you're hoping it doesn't affect you, then by all means, I can't question that decision. But I just think I'm not a big fan of resting starters. If it really, I mean, yeah, it has no meaning to it, but still, you want to have your players get the reps. You don't want them to be rusty or be mentally out of the game shape a little bit, you know? Because if you're just resting for 2 more weeks, you know it's not the same once you rest for that long, right?
Do you think Kyle? You know when we played the Eagles that he's gonna have a game plan like he did with Philly, like because we all were panicking. I was like, I'm not in the mood for your rotation fuck ups today. But maybe it's like if you look at it, it could have been part of the plan. Like, I'm not gonna use CMC. I'm finna see what you got. So do you think he'll do that with the Ravens maybe? See
I
what
think
they have?
I think Kyle's gonna test it a little bit because knowing our defense can hold up pretty well, he might try a couple stuff, but I'm hoping he sticks with the plan. Don't even try to get too cute. That's the problem. Maybe on some trickeries, maybe you can use Debo again, but use Debo on a different play, like where if you see that big hole where the Ravens have struggled in the middle, maybe try to use that spot to where Debo can exploit that area. But I think there's other ways you can beat Baltimore. Is running up the middle, which CMC has shown that he could run the middle if he wanted to. You look at how their secondaries or some of their tackles, like they actually have some of the worst tackling efficiencies too. So I think they're ranked 24 in tackling, which I'm kind of like, if I'm mistaken. So I guess against the Rams, they missed a lot of tackles on some plays that they should have capitalized. Then there was the one against the Jaguars where, they were on point, but it wasn't quite their
Yeah.
best. It wasn't quite their best game.
I don't think they should play hero ball and do shit with the fucking Ravens. Cause it's gonna be a battle. Like,
Yeah. I'm just hoping we stick with the plan and don't even change up the plays a little. Like make sure that the running plays work well. And if Elijah Mitchell's healthy, maybe mix it up a little bit.
hmm
CMC, try to get some big runs out of Mitchell, which I'm pretty sure the
I
Ravens.
actually enjoy Kittle being in the slot too. Like
Yeah. Get him
maybe he can mix Kittle up a little bit, like he did.
yeah,
That actually benefited us in the Eagles game. I was like, okay, like,
use Kittle in the middle, which can open up the passing game.
mm-hmm.
But I'm hearing that Jennings is not practicing, so he may be ruled out for this game.
The concussions, yeah.
Yeah, I think realistically he's probably going to be ruled out. Like unless he practices tomorrow, then it might have a different opinion of mine. Or unless he's a game time decision, which we all know it's 50% of it. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. But I'm guessing that he's out, and I'm guessing Armstead's out because
They
would.
said he wasn't practicing, so
Yeah, I'm guessing Armstead's out, which I can understand why he's out on this game. I would probably like as much as I want to play Armstead against the Ravens, I would probably rather prefer to have him in the playoffs. Like just as long as we can come away with the wins. I don't care how we win the game, as long as we win it and secure the top spot, that we're good. And we can get Armstead fully healthy. That's what I'm good with. If we can get Armstead at full health in the playoffs, then by all means we have a better chance to stop the run
right.
and create pressure. Yeah. I think
I just
Armstead being gone has really hurt our defense a little bit because you're missing the guy who double teams a lot and all that stuff. What Armstead brings to the Niners defensive line is he definitely demands double team a lot. And as a run stopper, he is very viable at times because he opens up for the other guys. What's up, Loyal to Houston? How's it going, dude? Good to see you. But yeah, I think
I
that's
don't
the
I just I in a way we do struggle without Armstead, but if resting him is the best option to have him healthy for the big game, then like
I
I said, I
mean,
think we're at that point where we can maneuver around without it.
and try to make sure we manage him to a full health.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we can get a little creative, like we've been using our other defensive linemen as that little inside rusher. We've been using Randy Gregory or Colin Farrell at those spots too. So we've been using a little bit of that package plays where Gregory's in the middle or Colin Farrell's in there too. They might mix it up a little more on the pressure. So we'll see. I mean, have you seen how Steve Wilkes has been mixing up our pressure, getting 5 guys up front?
Mm-hmm.
So you
That's what
always
he
have,
do.
yeah, when you got those other, so that 5th guy is always that defensive end that jumps into the middle, I think it's Gregory or is it Colin Farrell, one of the 2 guys, but they mix
I
it up.
think it's Gregory and Farrell,
Yeah,
but I
one of the
think it's more Gregory.
yeah, Gregory's kind of effective, just like how they used Arden Key before, but different.
Mm-hmm.
I wish we would have had Arden Key actually, but too bad. I mean,
He said, "Good luck for Christmas." We need it.
we
We
need
need
it.
it.
We need it really bad, but still, we need to find ways to stop the running game. But I think the task is. I don't really think we. I don't think.
I
I
think
think.
if he utilizes Kittle in the slot, the run game can be stopped. But I think Kittle is really going to be the key.
Yeah, I
For
think.
some reason, I think it's going to be Kittle.
Yeah, I think Kittle is the main key and all that stuff. And then even without Jennings, we do have a guy that is pretty fast, but we just haven't used him much. But we got this guy Chris Conley who's actually kind of been on our roster, so maybe you got to watch out for that X factor because we haven't utilized him, and he's actually a decent blocker too. So
I don't know
watch out.
why we don't use him.
I don't know why, but since Jennings is going to be out, this opens the door for Conley to get some
Hmm.
targets. And he's got some 4.35 speed. This guy is a 6'3" receiver, pretty fast. Blocks pretty nice too. So there is Willie Snead we can actually activate to the active roster, I think, or what like elevate to the practice squad and just bring them in. I think our depth as far as wide receivers, it may not be like good ones to have, but at least you get guys with the experience. Like I'm kind of curious, when are we gonna get Danny Gray out of the damn thing? Is he just on the doghouse or something?
Yep, he's on
I don't
punishment.
I don't even think he's injured. It's just dumb.
No, he's just on punishment.
Come on, Kyle. Okay, if that's the case, if we're gonna rest our starters, then activate Gray off IR and get him into the reps against the Rams at least. Get him some reps. Oh yeah, and we got this kid. I don't know what's going on with Drake Jackson, but I don't think he's gonna get off of IR anytime soon. I
No,
think
he's still recovering.
no, I
But
think he's in the doghouse now.
yeah, he's
Yeah, because
I had
Gregory
such high hopes from him. Like, of course, USC, the greatest college
he had
ever,
a
and it
good
was
game
just
the first week and then it just disappeared. It's like, damn, what's going on with this kid? And
I
then we just
noticed I noticed that a lot. Like some of them will play excellent, like Randy Gregory. Like
Gregory has
it's
his moments, but then at least with
yeah,
Gregory, you're still consistently getting pressure off of him, anyways. But since we got
I
Gregory, he's kind of produced 2 sacks with us, and he's kind of been a nice rotation to have as far as stopping the run too. So he's not that bad. I mean, then we got this kid from Georgia. What is it, Robert Beal Jr.? He's another guy that we kind of took off of IR and put him into the active roster. So he might be another guy we might mix in into our pass rush. We might have
speaking
his.
of sacks. Speaking of sacks, CG.
Okay.
Pretty boy Bosa has 11 back-to-back sacks. 11. He found his rhythm.
Well, the rhythm was getting the other defensive end, which was Chase Young. Chase Young's paying dividends. You got to have another guy that they would respect. And Chase Young hasn't really produced much because he's actually getting more double blocks a little more than expected. Like Chase Young is good when he's good, but having Chase Young on that trade is actually paying huge dividends. Like, yeah, he's not producing big time sacks right now,
Because
but
he's there to alleviate the pressure from Bosa.
yeah,
For
but I
Bosa
think
to help
but I think in the playoffs you're gonna see Chase Young produce
him.
because he's already got 2 sacks, but he's just eliminated the pressure to make it easy for Bosa and the other guys. So I don't think he really cares about the numbers. I think he just wants to win. And I'm hoping he's the kind of guy that takes something reasonable, not something expensive. He should know his value is not going to be that high. But we'll see what happens with him. I'm pretty sure he's going to probably demand some top dollars or something, but that's either here or then. We'll know pretty soon how that's going to play out. I think with Randy Gregory's contract, I think his contract is like for another year or two, and we can actually decide to whether we keep his contract or not. And we can save cap space with it, whatever choice. But I think keeping Gregory would be a nice step, actually. But we'll see. Secondary is just not that bad. It's just maybe safety backups would probably be the one key I'm concerned about because what happens if we go through another path again? Because losing Hufunga was very tough. But now having Jair Brown, it makes it feel like we didn't even miss a beat. Like at first, I was like a little concerned, like, damn, we just lost Hufunga. That's gonna suck. But then getting Jair Brown, it's like, wait a minute. not trying to sound skeptical or too high on this kid, but I'm like, damn, it just doesn't seem like we didn't even miss a beat, even when Hufanga was out or not, you know? I mean, that kid's pretty rough. Like that Jair Brown kid is really good. I like him. I actually had him as one of my top. I think I had him as one of my top
Jair,
safeties.
I
Yeah,
like him.
I actually had him as one of my top safeties that I liked it in the draft. I had him and Sidney Brown and another safety. I forget who, but he was one of my top safeties I liked, and I was happy we got him. Actually, one thing about Jair Brown is he's got the instincts to get interceptions and all that stuff, and he just has to get better on his tackling sometimes. He needs to get on point on tackling. Other than that, his coverage has been decent. The ball hawk skills, it's there, but he's it's kind of the same with Hufanga, the same skill set. So I think everybody was wondering what was the one player we couldn't afford to lose, and I don't know. We don't want to go to that path, but I know a quarterback would probably be the one thing we don't want to go through. So I would think that would be the important key, because I think we can plug in any other running back. CMC is good too, but we've done well with running backs in past years. So I think with Jordan Mason, we'll still pick up production off of Jordan Mason on the ground, which we all know Jordan Mason can be like a really, really good back. He kind of gives me that poor man Marshawn Lynch, just a physical type of runner and all that stuff. What's up? What's up, Mr. Hollick? What's up, Mr.
Rams fan.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He's a good guy. Um, I think the one we can't ill afford to lose is just Brock. I think everybody else, Debo may be another one, but I think the quarterback is the more important position because we've seen it in the conference championship. We just couldn't get the job done. So we've done it before without CMC before. We've had running backs. Raheem Mostert, remember that guy? He was changed. He was when healthy. He was a game.
But Kyle, for some reason, feels CMC is just the man.
CMC is everything. CMC is like your slot
That's what I'm
receiver.
saying. That's why I'm like, how is Brock MVP if he's technically not the most valuable player? I've seen this man struggle and lose without CMC, Trent, all of them. Like,
I mean, we can't ill afford to lose our quarterback, but I think with Trent Williams, that's the one guy you can't ill afford too. But I mean, you have to look at how, we've actually replaced running backs. We've been known to replace running backs, but CMC is just a special kind of.
but you can replace a quarterback. Quarterbacks are easily replaceable. You cannot replace a CMC. You can replace a Brock Purdy, but you cannot replace a CMC.
Brock Purdy. I mean, I don't know. Sam Darnold was not that special. I mean,
No, but what I'm saying is like,
just
Brock
a
Purdy. Yeah, like he can easily be replaceable. A running back like CMC, you can't find that. Dude is just natural.
But with Jordan Mason, you might get some good production out of him.
The Rams are not going back to the Super Bowl.
They're not going nowhere. I mean, they may get the number 6 or 7 seed, but I don't think they're going to get past Arlington, Texas. As much as I hate the Cowboys, like when you play the Cowboys at their home field, they're just better at home. But for whatever reason, we'll see. I'm not really convinced with the Cowboys, but if it's playing at AT&T Stadium, they do have a better chance to win there in the playoffs. But it has to be wild card, not divisional round. Wild card. And all that stuff. But we'll see what happens. But we had to look at how Lamar matches up on our team. The one thing that I'm excited about is we don't have to worry about Mitchell. Mitchell is just that one piece on Baltimore's offense that's just that guy that gives you those big chunk of runs. You don't got to worry about it now.
Yeah, that's somewhat of a stress reliever.
Well, but if you watch the film, what's really kind of suspect about Baltimore is if you watch the film of what the Rams did, we can exploit that. Exploit what they did with Williams. The way how the Rams use Williams in the running game, you can use CMC in that running game. The way their receivers were able to separate, you can throw it in with Debo, and you can get some big chunks out of those plays. That's why That's why you can that's a weakness of what the Ravens are going through right now. It's a lot to do with their tackling. Their tackling is terrible. I was talking to a couple Raven fans. They told me that the concerning part is the tackling part because they tend to give up some big plays, some big time plays. Their coverage is fine at times, but they told me, I don't know. I was talking to this Ravens fan, and he tells me that this is going to be a good matchup, but he says one concerning part is that offensive line if Lamar keeps holding up. We'll see, man. We ain't losing to you bums. Hey, Ramsaholic, let's just keep it positive, my guy. I don't want to hear your little cheap chalk shit, bro. We're talking the Niners, but we'll see you guys soon. But you got to watch how the film goes. I mean, dude, I don't like the delusional hypes, man. To be honest with you, like I get it. You're a young team, you're good, but I'm not really concerned about you guys. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Guess we're gonna call it a day. But I think she has to go because of the reception, or maybe we can go for a little bit longer. But I don't know. I believe we got a chance to win it this year. We just have to stay healthy, stay consistent, play at Levi Stadium because we haven't lost in the playoffs at Levi Stadium. We are 4-0. So the trend is to be at Levi Stadium. So if we can play our home games at Levi Stadium throughout the playoffs, I like our chances. I think it's an 80% chance we get to the Super Bowl. 80%. If it's on the road, I would say like 65% or less. But I like our chances when we play at Levi's this year. Because at Levi's, we're just a different team. Nobody wants to play at Levi Stadium. It's just not a good place. Like, even if we play on the road, I like our chances either way, but I don't like it if it's outside of Levi's.
I'm sorry, my kids unplugged the Wi-Fi box.
It's all right. It's all good.
Nah, he's good, but
yeah, but come on, man. This is what I don't like about certain Rams fans, bro. You guys are over talking and thinking you guys are gonna knock us out, bro. Stop being like those Dallas fans, bro. Be realistic. Okay. Even my buddy who's a Rams fan, he's not even thinking that way. I got a couple of buddies that I know personally at my job. They're Rams fans, and they don't even feel that way about beating the Niners. They said we have to have a better game plan. He says it doesn't matter. Kyle knows how to beat McVay at certain times, but he says forget about 2 years ago. Because I have a buddy who's just said, yeah, we were lucky 2 years ago, but I don't think we're going to do it again. He says, I doubt it. He says the difference of the previous years was we were stacked. That's what I work with this coworker, and he said 2 years ago we were stacked. We don't have that. He says it's a young, hungry team. He says I don't think if it's Levi Stadium, I don't think so. But he's kind of being realistic about it. But I get it. You want to be optimistic. That's cool. But a lot of my buddies I work with, there's a couple of dudes I know that do happen to be Rams fans, and they don't feel that way. They just said, I'll be happy if we make the playoffs this year. But he says, if we play San Francisco, I'm not really thinking that way. He says, I'm not thinking of 2 years ago. I'm thinking about now. Like, we got a young squad. If we can play a good game against San Francisco, then I'd be happy with that direction. But they said that Niners defense is good. I mean, there's this one guy that happens to be an old school Rams fan, and he's one of the management guys that I work with. So he's telling me as long as we block Chase Young, then we're good. But he says I don't think we have a chance if they're going to. One thing about Stafford is he's good when you don't get pressure on Stafford, but when you get pressure, things start to break down a little bit. That's what it is.
You just gotta let them sing their own song. Like Stafford is different tune. It's just like
it's a different tune with these. I don't understand it. Like, bro, can you at least stop being like Cowboy fans? Bro, we're not even thinking about y'all, bro. We don't even have a thought on you, bro. Let's wait until week 18, then we can talk, bro. I'm more focused on the Ravens. And then when you're saying that we're not going to beat the Ravens, that's more of a biased kind of prediction. But I'm not going to just go at it, bro. Come on, man. Even my buddy who's a Rams fan, he doesn't even think Baltimore is even that good, bro. And I know this guy since high school, and he's been telling me the difference of this Ravens team is if you watch the film of what the Rams did, You can use CMC in that play. CMC is better than what he said. Puka, one thing about Puka is he is a good route runner. I'll give him that. Cooper Kupp just kind of like getting up in age, but still effective. But they don't have a George Kittle. They don't have a Debo. When you don't have a George Kittle and Debo, I don't think you match up to us. And you don't even have a Trent Williams. That dude's a freight train.
I think that, they're still.
Stafford's great. I'm not disputing Stafford.
Yeah, they're just still living off their Super Bowl glory. That's all it is.
I just wish some of you guys would trash Cowboys and Raiders. Then maybe we can be buddies, but instead you guys are just all over our nuts, bro. Why not you trash the Raiders and Cowboys for once?
Because they're threatened. The Rams are always they're
obsessed with us.
They're intimidated.
They're just obsessed. I can respect them if they trash the Raiders and Cowboys more, then I would be cool with them. But man, it's not that big of a rivalry to us right now. We got to get another battle with the police. Even the guy that I went to school with, he doesn't even see it that big of a deal no more. He says, yeah, we were lucky last year because we had Von Miller and a bunch of other dudes. He says this squad's young and promising, but we don't have a guy like Von Miller that can definitely change the game. He says a lot of the guys are young. And I talk to this guy a lot sometimes. He tells me that if we make it further, then I'd be happy with the season. But realistically, he says we're not going to the Super Bowl with this young squad. Nah. He says, I'd be happy if we get to the wild card and divisional round. But if we get to the conference champions, like he said, then it's a bonus to him. But he says, if we play San Francisco at their full best in the playoffs, I don't like our chances. He says, this is not like 2 years ago. He says, this is nowhere near 2 years ago. He says the tables have churned. He says the tables have churned with San Francisco having more talent. He says, if you were to compare 2 years ago, he says, I can see why we were better that year. But he says this year, not so much. He says it's a close second. He even said that it's a close second between the two, but he says I would have to give the slight to the Niners. That's what he would tell me. But it's either here or then.
Haters. That's all they are.
I just wish we trash Cowboys and Raiders. Then we can be buddies, man. Come on. I like trashing Raiders and Seahawks, man. We can trash Seahawks. Rudy's like that one guy I can't stand sometimes. I mean, he's a good dude with the Rams, but man, he never trashes the Raiders or Cowboys. He's always on their little fan club or something. I question that. But they just like us. That's what it is. But hey, that's either here or then. We'll look forward to next week. I'm pretty damn sure we're going to beat the Ravens. And if we blow the Ravens out somehow, it wouldn't surprise me. But I think it's going to be a very close game. I say we win by 13 because
you said that the last time that we ended up blowing.
Yeah, I say we win by 13 points because I see it happening. No Keaton Mitchell. That's a little huge loss. They're not going to have a big run. And watching how the Rams did against the Ravens, we can use that playbook because they use exactly the same offense as us, just a little different. Sean McVay and Kyle run a similar offense, just a little different concepts because they have different type of skill players because they don't have a Debo. But you can use Debo in a jet sweep and run those holes. You can use CMC in the middle. You can use different skill players at that disposal. Baltimore, they are winning because of the way they're playing, but they haven't faced an offense like us all season. The closest they face is the Rams. That's the closest to what they faced to a Niners offense is the Rams. There's nobody they faced all year like us, So beating them by 6 points, that tells you that they haven't really played our offense as good as they. We're 13 times better than the Rams when it comes to the offense.
But it's always, if you look at the history, I think it was 4 years ago, we lost 17-20. It's always been a close game with Baltimore for some reason.
Baltimore's always been that good team. Baltimore's always been that physical team, that physical type culture. They're just a really good team. But I think we're going to beat Baltimore. I don't see no surprise. This guy picked the Eagles the previous weeks. What does that tell you about his pick'ems? He doesn't really look at it that way. He'll only pick the Niners if it comes to Seattle being Like I guess he picked Niners that Seattle week or the Cardinals. Like when it came to the Cardinals, he didn't pick the Cardinals on that one. But if I was a common sense kind of guy, I would have at least picked the Niners and said, bro, you can't pick against the Niners because everybody's picking Niners on every week now. If we would have lost to the Eagles, they probably would have chose differently. Vegas would have picked against us all games, but since we beat the Eagles, Vegas has us the favorite going the rest of the way. Doesn't that tell you something about it? Even though Baltimore is a good team, right? Even though Baltimore is the best team in the AFC, but why are we 5.5-point favorites? Does Vegas know something?
Because the Niners is the most dominant team in the NFL. Shannon Sharp said it correctly.
Yeah.
When the Niners are healthy, no team can see us.
Yeah, 2.5-point favorites against the Eagles when they were like the best team in the NFL, but still. I mean, if I'm a betting man,
I think Lamar, he played it cool.
If I was a Cowboys or a Rams fan or a Raiders fan, I would have picked the Niners on that betting line. Be common smart, but still.
I think Vegas trying to tell us something.
They're telling us something. That's what it is. But I don't know. As far as Ramsaholic, he's a good guy. Just give him a little hard time, but still.
Yeah. You know, Rams fans, for some reason, they're obsessed because they think
we're the big brothers. I get it. We're the big brothers. We have to give them a little attention just because of what they've done 2 years ago.
You know? Like, okay, you got your little funky win. Fine.
Okay, you got your future. You got your future good receiver. I like Puka. I told you I like Puka. He's good. I told you. Right? I've told you this. I told you that Puka's. I mean, you were right about Puka. I've heard a lot about this kid, so I was.
But if you look at it, that's all they have. That's like all they have.
I mean, Tutu Atwell is like a one-trick pony receiver. If he's
I'm talking about the Rams fans. Like, all they have to brag is 2 years ago. That was.
But then again, they keep talking about our past history, bro. But at least we got more Super Bowls. I mean, yeah, we haven't done it in almost 30. At least we didn't. Okay, so we didn't do it in 30 years. But why is every other team bringing up our old rings? I don't understand that part. So we can't even bring up. So we can't even bring up 5 rings. But last I checked, we won 5 Super Bowls.
You bringing up a ring from 2 years ago.
So I guess that's a different common sense. I mean, look, if you look at my picture, who made this? Look at John Taylor made the catch in the Super Bowl. So I can't have that as my history books. So I can't have a Roger Craig autograph. I can't have a Cedric Harbin autograph, even though he never won a Super Bowl with us. But still. I don't know.
The best you had was Kurt Warner and Marshall Faulk.
Kurt Warner and Marshall Faulk had a good offense. I'm not going to dispute that.
Yes, but that's it. Like literally.
I mean, Kurt Warner was kind of exactly how everybody wrote off Brock Purdy, but they didn't wrote him off like that. But if it was bigger deal in social media, they would have wrote him off just like the way they're doing Brock Purdy right now.
I think, though, if you look at the history of the Rams, nobody's going to remember. Like, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, Matthew Stafford was cool, but it's
they're only going to remember certain parts of their history. They're only going to have certain parts of their history. When you look at the Fearsome Foursome, you think of their line, their old school D-line, but you think of the 99 Rams, you think of how the offense was executed, but it doesn't have no memorability of the Niners offense, like the Bill Walsh. Everybody thinks of the Bill Walsh and I mean, you look at Sean McVay, he comes from the West Coast offense tree like his grandpa was running with the Niners. But everybody thinks of Shanahan a lot because of his dad. His dad was a successful head coach.
That's why I'm like, I think Kyle
needs it more.
From Daddy's shadow.
Kyle needs that championship more
because to make himself solidified. Because right now, until he wins the championship, that fool was top 15. Coach.
That dude looks like a baseball coach. He looks like a baseball coach with that beard. Like those baseball umpire coaches.
I feel like he wants to relinquish himself from his dad's name.
But he can't.
It's like you can't because unless you win that ring, then you can separate yourself.
I mean, it's hard to get rid of something that you were accustomed with the name. Like you look at okay, Sean McVay won because he won because of the coaching DNA, but he won because his grandpa was known as I think he was an okay coach, but became a good GM with the Niners, So I think it's a lot of pressure with Kyle because of the name. If he just had a different name, I think he would have easily won the Super Bowl. twice. But I think if Kyle's lucky, if Kyle can get us healthy, I really do think there's a chance we can win the sixth Super Bowl. It just really depends on how Kyle does the plays. If Brock Purdy is the opposite quarterback that just changes up the play, then there's no way Kyle's going to mess it up. Because if your quarterback changes up the play, how else are you going to blame Kyle? You're going to have to blame Brock Purdy if the play doesn't work or not, right?
Right.
And that's the difference. Like Jimmy would probably just say, "Yes, coach, I'll do that." Brock Purdy would be like, "Coach, I don't think that works. I'm gonna change it up." But he'll probably just do it out of like low key, kind of say it doesn't work, but he'll just change up the play anyways. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But we've been going over for an hour, but yeah, we'll see what happens. But I'm pretty optimistic that we're definitely going to beat the Ravens. We'll see what happens. I think the Ravens beating us for quite some time has to come to an end.
It does. Like that PTSD has to end because it's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's
Y'all
not like
not gonna keep bullying me.
Ray Lewis is out there. Am I kind of like lost? Is Ray Lewis still on the football field? Because last I
Nope.
checked, he's not on the football field no more.
So it's like
Yeah,
4 years ago we played them. So now it's
is
gonna
Ed
be
Reed
the
out there
battle.
too? Yeah, is Ed Reed out there also? Because I don't see him out there.
I don't
Nobody's
see him
there.
either.
Terrell Suggs, he's not even there either. Come on, man. These other guys are young, but they're not like the same exact old school Ravens. I mean, I see us had to beat them, so yeah. I like their D tackle. What's his name? That Justin Mabuki or whatever his name is. He's a good D tackle, but they don't got really. They got good linebackers, but they tend to miss tackles. Their secondary misses tackles, and they might not even have Marcus Williams out there for this week.
I know, I seen that. Like
They got this Geno Stone kid, which he kind of has a little off coverage sometimes, and that might be the more advantage for us to beat them is we can use Kittle in that matchup or any other person. Yeah. Yep, that is true. Nobody brings up the Cowboys and the Steelers, but they have not even gone to a championship. See, that's the difference. At least we gone to the championship. See, I can respect a team if they got to the conference championship. Like, okay, for a Dallas fan, I would at least give them their credit for at least getting to the championship. But I can't. And I've said this
because
before.
that means they're not good.
Yeah, I said it to my I said this to my mom before. If you guys can make it to the conference championship or something, I'll give you guys some credit. But other than that, I don't even respect y'all. My aunt kind of feels the same way. Rest in peace to my dad, but he was not really feeling his Cowboys that way. You know what I mean? He said if Dak Prescott's our quarterback, we're done. He says, I don't believe in the kid. My mom says it's time for them to eventually move on from Dak at some point. He says if Dak can't get it done, then get rid of the coach also. Here's that delusional Everett, man. Here's our favorite troll. This Mr. Irrelevant post, man. This man is our new Mr. Irrelevant. Maybe he needs to change his name to Mr. Irrelevant the Great now. Instead of Jim Everett the Great, how about Mr. Irrelevant the Great for him?
I fucking love Jim. Jim is
I like Jim, but I'm just saying you haven't seen this guy post in quite a while, but still. Like I said, he's like our favorite troll. Like instead of Jim Everett the Great, I like to call him Mr. Irrelevant the Great. He's a funny guy. But
they so hyped because they won.
He's so happy, and he's already thinking because they're like 500 right now. 2 more games to go. Hey, you can turn the tables, man. You've been busy with work? That's cool. I've been kind of busy myself too. But it's good to see you, man. It's good to see you. But Mr. Irrelevant. Whatever. I want that one guy that's Mr. Irrelevant that wins the Super Bowl with Brock Purdy, man. Just change the title. It'd be kind of cool. Cool story.
Or they could just,
give him the MVP, but give him the Super Bowl MVP too. That'd be kind of a good story. Like, think of it going to Hollywood one day. NFL's all about money, man.
Well, somebody made a comment and they said
Tommy's just trying to like take it seriously, but I don't think it's that serious, man. Ramsaholic is I think Ramsaholic is just being too optimistic, Optimistic fans are always feeling that way about it.
I mean, when you're talked about so much. Of course, you want to steal everybody's spotlight.
Dude, I don't see the big deal, but yeah, I don't, s- I don't even think he said anything about a new quarterback. I think he just said that the system. I think the only thing I've heard out of Ramsaholic's mouth is the system quarterback talk. I don't think he said anything about a new quarterback. Because I remember we were having a little debate, and all he just said is you can plug in anybody. That's all he said. I don't think he said we need a new quarterback. Not that he told me. Yes, he did. But when was his?
Shit, any quarterback can play well in our
Yes, he
system.
did. When I was on his stream, what stream was it? Like, why would he even say that? That's just he just said the system. Ramsey Hall, you changed tunes, bro. Why do we need a new quarterback? I don't understand that part. Man, I'm like Stephen A. Smith. I'm gonna have a little talk with my little swagoo guy, man. I'm a little debate on this dude. Yeah, Rams look pretty good offensively because it's a healthy team now, but they still got a young squad, so it takes time. So what stream did he even said that, bro? Even most Rams fans I've even talked to, they even said that this would not even we don't even need a new quarterback. Maybe he's probably referring to Sam Bradford being the quarterback that's trash because he kind of did say Bradford sucks. He did say Bradford is garbage, so maybe he's right about Bradford. Not Bradford, I mean Darnold. It was a play-by-play, bro. So I
That
guess
shit is crazy. Like,
so what happens if yeah, we can agree on that. We did sweep them damn Seahawks. Yep, we swept the trash. What about the Cardinals, buddy? We did swept the Cardinals too. Swept two birds. Now we got one more bird to like hunt.
speaking of the Cardinals game, like honestly, I think the Niners was just
Yeah, we
toying
need to
with them
stop
because they
playing
were
around.
just trying to get the game over. Like,
We need to stop playing with teams like that.
no, like they were literally
We were just
just
toying with
like,
them a little bit.
yes, like, well, let's just do what we do because it's almost over. Like, I turned it off at the third quarter because I was like,
It just seemed like
there's
we were
no way
messing with them, giving them
it's
false hope.
impossible.
We did it to the Giants. We gave them false hope, and then we just swept beat the crap out of
I just
Philadelphia.
hope Debo has another game and Kittle, but it's like I said, Lamar Jackson, the key for us is to stop it.
Yeah, that's true, Tommy. That is true. They can't be giving up points like they did against other teams, but still, a win's a win. But I don't think they're going to do it against better teams. If they did it to Dallas, they got to make sure they hold on to that lead at Arlington, Texas. Yeah, and I say Arlington, Texas because some of you guys call it Santa Clara, so you guys got to call the Cowboys Arlington instead. Call the Cowboys Arlington, and maybe I'll respect y'all. But Saints are a little suspect. It's only their defense that was pretty good at one point, but Carr's just not cutting it with the Saints. I don't know. Maybe he's just kind
Maybe
of like,
he just needs a new coach.
yeah, Dennis Allen sucks as a head coach. He didn't do nothing for the Raiders either,
I
so I don't
mean,
know why he's still a head coach. He's an okay DC, not a great. I don't get it, but
Carr did have like 1,000 concussions, so maybe he just at the end of his rope.
yeah, I think he needs to like. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But hey, we'll definitely do some more next week. You know, I mean, everybody's having a good time. Got to get ready for a little later tonight for work, but it's good to see you. We've been going on
Good to
pretty.
see you, CG.
We got
What's your
to.
prediction?
What's my prediction? You want to talk your prediction first?
Uh, I say 31, no, 37 to 28.
Ooh, I like that. So we win by 8 points. You know what my prediction is?
What?
31 to well, no, actually 34-21. Niners. It's not going to
There
even
you
be
go.
close. I think if this game gets really competitive, I think it comes down to the fourth quarter to where the Ravens get
Yeah.
wear down a little bit. They don't have that finisher. All they have is Lamar Jackson. Just limit Lamar Jackson, take away what he does good at, and you should be able to limit their offense to maybe 20 points at the max, which the Niners have done well, especially in the second half. We don't give up a lot of points.
Right.
So I think if we can get a 30-plus point type of game on them, and if they only just get 20 points on halftime, then we're good. Yeah, I think CMC should get MVP and Brock should get the Super Bowl. I hope so. I wouldn't mind either. I don't really care who
That
gets it.
nigga said Brock Pretty. I love him.
That would be a good MVP for him to get, but we'll see. But well, thank you guys for tuning in. But hey,
Thank you guys.
We'll see y'all next week, and we'll give you guys a little
Bang bang.
bang bang Niner gang. We got to